So now, in the updated version, you can see how I've changed the former introduction to the game, trying to build incentive to probably bring the player out here. So just some iconography of these boats sinking. Chest here for players who actually look for the edge to be rewarded, as well as viewpoints trying to persuade players to go here. Then hopefully they'll see this. So just more reward for players. Like, I mean, most players will go to this, and then they'll look at this, and if not, they are very likely to check out this as they go. And if they do, they get full understanding of this area as well, which I think is the best thing about this, because most people that would go into here wouldn't see this chest, so if they do go and look, they'll be rewarded. So feeling like players that don't check out this will feel like, oh wow, I've took the time to come up here, and now I've spotted something that I shouldn't have seen. And if players are like, oh, I wonder what's here, and they'll go, it's like, oh, there is something here, I'm rewarded. So kind of just trying to create solutions for both the players. In this main courtyard, I build it up so the enemies would still be able to get around, but I wanted to just be a little bit more lived in. So I added these stalls. Added these lampposts to create a better sense of lighting and try and break up the estate district and the other district. So very different lighting being used in both areas. And up here, this area is now starting to be bathed in light. So just showing that anything being smothered down here is under the tyranny of this queen. And I wanted the church and the intro of the game to kind of have light that's like kind of pouring over the player. I really like the first moment in the games where you break out of your situation and you get that first bit of sunlight. I wanted to try and match that in my game, but still a very quick descent into worse situations, so back into the shadowy darkness. And then out here, another viewpoint, once again. Feels like it's a little bit more hopeful, but then quickly the player is forced to descend into the less than friendly conditions down here. I'll go over some of the things that I noticed when I was playtesting. So this area, I needed it to be of more relevance, so I added this area with a key, which is a monument to the your mentor. The statue has relevancy, cannon up here, and something here to build up this area, so a few points of interaction. Over here, I wanted something to happen, so I kind of came up with just a former pedestrian route that used to be here. Like no big bridge on this side, but now it's just been toppled over, and these guys have attacked this thing, which has now fallen, and these doors have fallen, and now they've just barricaded it off and broken it. And there's a skeleton here that's, and here, which really make my engine lag. Just some environmental storytelling about how this came to be. And I try to have these golems in places where it makes sense for them to be. So this one was being used to defend. This one was trying to get back here and was shot down. This one used to be helping people working, and now it's been lying dormant because of the no magical energy in this area. This area, I initially had these houses, and I wanted to try and create some like more of a slum kind of district. So I used intentional lighting, these wooden boarding allowances, and just trying to make it a little bit more tight and give player opportunities with these things, trying to make it feel a bit more rickety, like a drop attack onto the boss here. A little farmland over here, more of these rickety wood bridges. The windmill that I wanted to use again, sorry, the watermill. A little market area. And yeah, that is how the level has progressed. There's been a lot of different key features about updating little points of gameplay, enemy placements, as well as this basic landscaping tools to try and create better flow, and also trying to ensure that player has amply sufficient viewpointing of their goals. So as you kind of travel through the world, you very routinely have your goal in mind, and even when you go to places where you think it'll be progression, you get spotlighting of where the level will progress. And I wanted to give the player plenty of viewpoints where they can see things that are trying to jump up on them. So these enemies here, provided you're just walking through the level, they're a little bit hidden, but you have opportunities to see them. And then when you finally get down to going around these, you have these moments in your brain where you have pattern recognition, and it's like, oh, I remember the enemies here, and then you can act as such, and it just gives you a little bit of reward for actually noticing your environment, and makes these vantage points actually be advantageous to the player. Alright, yeah, I think that's everything for the quality testing and assurance. Other than that, it's mostly just been making the flow of the level really work out well. Like down here, I try to create a more tutorialized zone of teaching the player how picking up and interacting works, how light is your ally, sight lines, things like that. Just really trying to tighten up the experience, as well as building up this idea that this is a good glow, and it means treasure and or exposition. So just trying to use that lighting as a very obvious persuader of movement. And a lot of the things has just been adding details of the world to try and build up a narrative, adding parallaxing of these beams and structures and stuff, trying to just build up flow to highlight things. So try and draw the player out here, and the player will probably be going to this and see this. Then off the beaten track, things that they've seen, like a player will hopefully check this out and go get chests. So just little moments. They don't really take the player too far of their way to go get them, but there just are points of these chests which are supposed to be rewarding, and you see them and you feel incentive to go check them out, as well as your overall narrative and just wanting to actually explore the level. So yeah, I probably should have had a fog not on for this. I'll see how this looks after the fact, but I hope you enjoyed. This is Echoes of the Forgotten, and that was the quality assurance and some of the things I noticed during playtesting. Alright, thank you.